our third performer for the evening is Blair of Detroit Rock City. Blair is a 2010 Callaloo Fellow and Seattle Bent Mentor Award recipient, as well as National Poetry Slam champion, who returned like 5 minutes ago from Russia. So he'll be glad to stay up all night and drink with you, because that's what he's been doing for the last little while here. Thank you for hanging out with the Atlanta Queer Lit Fest, especially in this cool closing event that we have for you.
Hi, my name's Blair. I'm from Detroit.
This first one is called I Remember Stonewall. I remember Stonewall. I remember stone walls being put up around my community. I thought it was queer that such a colorful, beautiful group of people with hopes and dreams and talent unmatched could be such a threat to this world, but then consider this world. A threat because we prove every day that there are other ways to live and other ways to love. Our talent is that peculiar type learned through being forced to find creative ways of getting what we need from life. I remember stone walls that made some of us afraid of ourselves, made some more conscious of themselves, made some too self-conscious. The drag queens and rebel girls, the rainbow boys and lavender lapras women, all hiding our lights behind stone walls, drove some of us into sweaty subway station bathrooms and dark back rooms, cruising for a fix, pushed some deeper into closets, persecuted for sex we weren't even having. And I remember the cops, New York's finest, breaking in, breaking skin, breaking bone, breaking their own rules, broke our collective heart, but not our will. I remember the civil rights movement and the gay rights movement. What a shame these two never formally got together. Just think about the power. Oh well, there's always the fire next time. I remember how the cops chose this bar to make an example of us queers. Not just any queers, the real fucking dregs of that subversive society of faggots this place was. The drag queens and trannies, the dykes who just need a real man, the nigger queers and the spit queers, the leather boys and hard-worn women with stone butch blues. Yeah, how can anyone defend this? You are under arrest. For what? For loving yourselves. For what? For hating yourselves, for being confused about just what the fuck it is you are. So we did what some of our so-called leaders try to sweep under a stone rug, and we fought back. Maybe we did learn something from the civil rights movement after all. That you take and 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 you take their shit until it's damn near killed you, broken your spirit, and then you take what's left of your pride and you say, enough. There will be no justice until there's peace, so there will be no peace until there's justice. And it doesn't mean that I advocate violence, but at the same time, I'm not against using violence in self-defense. I don't even call it violence. I call it intelligence. Malcolm X. These folks were the soul of our community. The femboys, unafraid to queen it up. The bull dykes who kick your ass and not think twice. Those who thought, yeah, I'm taking a risk, but I have no damn choice because the alternative is suicide in one form or another. This was the soul of our community, and they fought back. And I can't believe for one goddamn minute that they fought so that we could cut some deal in some back alley boardroom, or we're just like you, our way up the corporate ladder, or closet our way onto a TV screen. And I don't claim to have all the answers. I just know it's right to defend yourself when the bastards attack. Because Paris is still burning, and some of us, we don't need no water. This is a persona poem called Carl. I was drawn here. I don't know what it was made me get a job at this nuclear power plant. Probably the same thing drew Lenny and the others. But some nights, when we're drinking, I worry something stupid's gonna happen. Because when Homer's around, stupid stuff always happens. Mostly, people know me as that black guy from The Simpsons. But my name is Carl. And yeah, Apu's wife always follows me around the Quickie Mart. And yes, Chief Wiggums has pulled me over more than my fair share, but for the most part, Springfield's a pretty tolerant town. So when someone painted a big black N on my locker at the Springfield nuclear power plant, sort of freaked me out, took me by surprise. And after Wiggums came and stared at him for all the time it took him to eat a bear claw, yeah, that's definitely a big black N there, he had it painted over, thereby destroying all the evidence. Later, Smithers comes by my workstation on behalf of Montgomery Burns, and the next day, everything just went back to situation comedy. Everyone acted as though nothing really happened. Well, obviously, I couldn't act that way. I didn't know if the threat would turn physical or what. Meanwhile, there's this voiceover repeating in my head that says, I know all these guys. And I guess what ticked me off the most was that none of my friends ever said or did nothing. Well, about a week later, Lenny comes to me asking why I'm acting so weird. Asks if it was that end thing. Says that I should just let it go. So I tell him, not in some cartoonish way. I says, look, Lenny, here it is in Technicolor. When I was a kid, I used to have an invisible friend, right? And I told him all my fears and my insecurities, my worries and my hardships, and he never once said nothing. He never once did nothing until finally I had to say to myself, I think I'm done with invisible friends. And that was that. Or so I thought. But the next day, I noticed Lenny squirming in his seat before finally he jumps up on the table in the center of the cafeteria and says in a voice louder than Bart's grandfather's television, listen up, everybody. Carl's my best friend. Whoever did that thing to him was wrong, and you know it was wrong. Springfield is better than that. In fact, we're all better than that. And I ain't saying I'm tough or nothing, but from now on, you go messing with Carl, you're messing with me too. And then he sat back down. He finished his roast beef sandwich. Some people applauded, some people laughed, most just got right on eating, but I didn't care so much about their reactions. I was just glad that I had finally found a friend who had decided to make himself visible. So I don't know if I'll ever leave Springfield or this dangerous job, but I believe this city is my home. Why? I was drawn here.